I voted Leave because I felt the campaign, the way they presented the Leave campaign was better from the vantage point of whereby presentation of the facts. But I think, having seen the facts that the arguments are better now that you guys are making, it's quite sad, and I kind of want them to remain. So that's kind of where I stand.
It's okay to change your mind. I mean, a lot of the Leave campaign at the time of the referendum, there was a lot of lies. There was a lot of disingenuous facts, and that's putting it,
naturally, but the problem was I felt that I don't think Remain had a message that spoke to the rational concerns. It was like, it was economy first, but it's nothing like, well, how does that feed into NHS, how does that feed into all these other things? And I think that's what there you go.
The government headed the Remain campaign. There was a lot of protest vote against the government too. If you look at the demographics, every single deprived area voted to leave. Every single one. I'll give you a good example. Cardiff, Remain city, well off, diverse, good jobs. Swansea, deprived city.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Voted Leave. It's sad.
You know, I think that, I mean, there's a great, I don't know if you know who he is, Niall Ferguson, great historian. He said, one of the worst stories of the 21st century is that terrible confrontation has become terrible simplification. I think that's the problem that Remain has. Well, like, when I was younger, it was like, what does sovereignty mean? It's like, oh, surely it means making your own law, but then you realise it's painful. You're more powerful making those decisions together as a 28-member bloc, so there you go.
Yeah. So you look back through history, you look back through things like the suffragette movement. There was only, at best, a few hundred members. They changed history, they made a difference.
I get that. But, I just think that if, I'm a citizen and I don't want to kind of devote...
Do you live in London as well?
No, I live in Kent, so I'm
right.
kind of like from Eurosceptic heaven, so
yeah.
And then I went to Bath and I kind of became a Europhile in the space of like a year, so there you go. But
you're studying in Bath? Or?
Yeah, I do. I'm doing politics.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's good. So like the approach I just kind of take is that I care about this, but if I can't control it, what's the point in me getting involved?
We have a voice. We can control it.
Yeah,
we must have an input on this, and we can control it. It's going to be a disaster for this nation if we actually leave. For the simple reason, we're 80% service. Money aside, like you said, the NHS, it has to have its funding from somewhere. The financial sector is leaving as we speak. They're setting up in Frankfurt, they're setting up in Paris.
Yeah.
They are the best paid jobs, 50% tax or whatever. Their income alone in tax covers our NHS for a full year.
Oh yeah, for sure. But and
now what's going to happen if we don't get that tax revenue? We're going to have tax hikes and cuts.
It'll be austerity on steroids, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it will.
I appreciate, I've been coming to you guys and there's a rational debate.
Yeah,
so I voted Brexit, but I still kind of feel like I vote Remain now. But because I wish there was more of. I wish there was more of that. You can have a sensible argument. Conversation.
If you look at that poster that says whatever you voted, you're welcome here, whether you leave or Remain. And we all have a voice. We're entitled to. Democracy never ends with a vote. It's always evolving, and
because you're right.
A lot of people say, it was democracy, but it wasn't. 4 million people were not allowed to vote.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's obviously going to be other differentials as well, because obviously things can change anytime. It's like, you see John Major get elected with most votes ever, then Tony Blair gets a landslide the next time. You can change your mind. But
exactly that.
in some ways, I suppose I could be the kind of voter you're looking for, someone who's changed their mind on the rational basis. Because I think the problem that Remain needs to have is that it needs to form the arguments as to a kind of perspective of why is that impacting an individual person, and that wasn't what the Remain campaign did. But you know what I'm saying is that you've got to rationally say that we want to stay in Europe for the money, but where does that money? But you say, look, we can improve the NHS through more funding.
It's a massive social injustice. I mean, those deprived areas that voted for this are the ones that are going to pay the biggest price if we do leave. But the problem we got now is it's almost a Labour Conservative coalition.
Yeah, but
he is so...
I think he's awful.
He's always been against the European Union. He voted leave in he didn't want to stay in 1975.
Yeah.
He's never forgotten that. And he's carried that through. He's the leader of a party which is mostly Remain. Now, do you respect the will of the leader or do you respect the will of the party?
Well, you do the latter.
Yeah, exactly.
I do consider myself a Tory voter at heart,
Yeah,
but you
I
know,
know.
off the mic, I'm sort of the kind of Thatcher or Heseltine tradition, you know, the ones who are got that patriotic stance, but with a kind of, let's talk to people about the issues. Because whatever you have to say about Thatcher, she did go around and into all these towns and like go to the parts people didn't go to talk to people. And I feel that, you know, it's like, I don't like how the Tories become a sort of PR machine. It's like,
Well, I've talked to many Tories who voted Remain, and they're all very much of the same opinion as you. It's
legitimate concerns and what have you.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a bit sort of cynical of like these kind of movements, seeing this and just like engaging with people. It's fantastic. It's really cool.
I mean, should we leave? God forbid we don't. It is down to your generation to get us back in. So you like seeing this, you like the integration. I mean, we're talking to tourists, MPs, MEPs, Lords. I mean, we'll get the levers that come through, and you know, we get abuse here as well. We just have to take it on the chin and say, well, you know, we can't convince everybody.
Because I saw you in BBC News, I've got to say, it's very, I've got to shake your hand for it. It's very admirable.
Which one's that?
No, it's very admirable. You're always here every day, and I think it's amazing, mate.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing.
Thank you very
really
much.
Well done.
Cheers.
But,
well, should there be another vote? You know which way to go.
Cheers.
All right, all the best.